The 2014 National Defense Authorization Act is currently being debated in the House. Amendments are being offered up. One such amendment by Democrat from New Jersey, Rob Andrews, was going to change the military's chaplaincy policy. So previously, obviously, these chaplains were religious figures. What Rob Andrews wanted to do was change so that humanists, secularists, and members of ethnic cultural groups could also serve the role of military chaplains, not replacing the religious chaplains, but supplementing them. And the reason for that is that for people in the military who do not follow one of these religions, you have the option of either going to a Christian, Muslim chaplain, something like that, or going to a mental health professional. Now, there's a wide range of desired outcomes between there for these secular soldiers. And so this would have plugged that gap. Now, that seems totally reasonable. Let's see who thinks it's not. This is, of course, Republican of Texas. Why not? Mike Conaway. He says, "They don't believe in anything. I can't imagine an atheist accompanying a notification team as they go into some family's home to let them have the worst news of their life." And this guy says, "You know, that's it. Your son's just worms. I mean, worm food." He goes on to say, "The last thing in the world we would want to see was a young soldier who may be dying, and they're at a field hospital, and the chaplain is standing over that person saying to them, 'If you die here, there's no hope for you in the future.'" That's stupid on so many different levels, and I'm going to try to at least break down a couple of them. So we have atheist soldiers. People love to, what's the stupid quote? There's no atheists in foxholes. We understand that that's not true, thankfully. Pat Tillman was a very good example of it. There are a number of people serving in the United States Armed Forces who do not follow any established religion. They may not be even spiritual in some vague California sense. They are atheists, and they want someone to talk to when they're feeling stressed out. Maybe they're feeling some PTSD, something like that. Being in the military can be pretty stressful. Pretty harsh, I would imagine. They want someone to talk to. And Mike Conaway doesn't understand that. He might very well have served in the military. If he did, he didn't learn much in his time there. Of course, he is a modern Republican politician, so the chances that he served are pretty low. And so here he is completely downing on the idea, particularly the atheist chaplains, but I think that he's also denigrating the soldiers as well. Look, if there was a humanist chaplain, you know what they would say when a soldier comes to them with some problems? Something comforting, okay? You don't have to believe to be a comforting person. This is Adam Smith, by the way. He said, "To say that an atheist or a humanist doesn't believe anything is just ignorant. The response to the gentleman's amendment makes me feel all the more the necessity of it." That's exactly how I feel. Look, I'm personally an atheist, for example, but if somebody dies, of course, I'm going to say something comforting. You don't have to believe in an afterlife to say something comforting, to say, well, you know, think back on the good times, like you took a lot out of this, like you are, by living on, you're continuing their example, something like that. So you don't need the religious values undergirding some sort of comforting statement to a family that has lost a soldier or a soldier who's feeling the stress of wartime. And so Mike Conaway's statements are all the more ridiculous in light of that, I think. And so let's go outside of the context of these statements about the amendment, which, by the way, is not going to pass because that committee, as all are in the House right now, has a majority of Republicans. Why is he saying this? He's not saying this because he's principally concerned about the rise of humanist chaplains in the military. No, I think that they understand that they are losing the battle demographically. About every 5 years, the percentage answering none when you ask them about their religious affiliation goes up. Every couple of years. We've seen this trend now for about 20 years. I think he understands that he's losing, and they're hoping that one way of stopping that, perhaps reversing it, if nothing else slowing it, is going to be to cast atheists as an other. Not just someone who believes something different than you, not just someone who grew up in a different context than you, but someone who would directly insult the family of a soldier that had died. They're trying to make them seem un-American, they're trying to make them seem foreign. This is strategy one for creating an enemy, is inspiring the xenophobia. And so Mike Conaway is right in the middle of a rich tradition, at least in regard to that. Now, it's sad that this amendment did not pass. We will not, at least in the near future, have these atheist and secular and ethnic group chaplains. Perhaps at some point when Congress is taken over by people who can look at these situations rationally and empathically, we can try again. That's my hope at this point.